What's going on with y'all? Welcome to HDiiTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Now the Commissioner Cup game, I'm gonna talk about it. There's gonna be some games on tonight, so I'll talk about those probably the next day. You know, still gotta watch the Acolyte. Then gotta watch the boys still, so I'll get into them later. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this. Hit that notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if you guys love what you hear, you can donate to the page via super chat or super thanks, or you guys can go to my Cashapp or my Zelle account, and that's in the description box. You guys can also sign up to my Patreon. It's $3 a month. Also follow me on Rumble. We got some videos over there. I haven't posted in a while, but I'll put some up there one of these days. Now, I saw the Commissioner's Cup on the Minnesota Lynx and the New York Liberty. I picked the Minnesota Lynx to win, and it wasn't because of offense. It's because their defense, their team defense, is very flawless. A lot of they don't really play with a true 5. They play with a stretch 5 and a stretch 4. But both can play in the post and can play on defensively in the post, and on offense they can post up. And they have a lot of movement. So Courtney Williams, when she has the ball in her hands, she's going off of what her what either the 4 or the 5 is doing going down the court. When they set that pick and she's within the red, which is the mid range to the basket, she knocks it down every time. She got the tempo moving. She got it going. Sabrina got it going a little bit. The reason that the Liberty really didn't do well was because JJ could never get off. They made her uncomfortable. They gave her different looks. Every time she tried to go to the basket, they would be right there. Then she would get frustrated. JJ is very easy to frustrate. Very easy to frustrate. And this is, again, we seen her in a big game and she don't come to play. She played against the Aces. She had a big game, but against the Phoenix Mercury had their number. And when she doesn't establish nothing in the low post, her long range game is atrocious. I thought Stewie got some stuff in, but I thought Stewie waited too long just to get off. If Stewie would have came up early and did what she had to do, then it would have been I think it would have been a better game for New York, because New York takes me as a team. They have to get in a rhythm. They have to get people going in order for them to establish their presence on the floor. The Minnesota Lynx really don't have to do that. They run a system. Everybody on the floor is dangerous. Everybody on the floor can handle the ball. Everybody on the floor can shoot the ball and shoot the 3 outside of Courtney Williams. She's sometimes, depending on what part of the 3 she's at, corner or the elbow or top of the key. It depends on where she's at. The issue in this game is that the New York Liberty coach, in my opinion, I felt like they should have tried to get the ball more to the post. They kept running to the 3. They kept trying to do all this passing the ball around. Look, it's cool to move the ball around, but you have to move the ball around with a purpose. I remember Kevin Durant said that, and everybody slandered him and went off like, man, you're on Golden State. You need to do what they say do or something. Like, y'all didn't even understand what he's saying. Like, you can move the ball, but if the ball's not ending up in the basket or ending up in somebody's hand who can get a high percentage shot, then what's the point of moving the ball? I'd rather take this one-on-one and get this easy bucket real quick. You know, and that's all he was saying. You have to move the ball and you have to get it in your position to score. Minnesota did not let New York get comfortable. Even when New York was leading, I knew it wouldn't sustain because you were playing Minnesota's game. Minnesota loves to play up-tempo. They love to run. They love to hit threes in transition. They love to hit shots in transition. They are a tough transition team. And they also can play the half court because they got Nafisa Collier. And they got McBride. Now, McBride didn't come on until the end, but she hit the shots that needed to be hit. You know, her and Nafisa really didn't have a big, spectacular game. They just really did their damage down the stretch when it was time to close the game out. But they really didn't need a big game because JJ didn't do nothing. This was basically the battle of the role players and the bench. Whoever role players and bench won, they won the game. And also, New York turned over the ball way too much. They were throwing passes over the head, way out of reach. JJ started getting frustrated. Sabrina running around trying to find who to hit. And this is what I'm saying. JJ was trying to creep at that three-point line. And it's like I said, I feel like a lot of times she goes to the three-point line way too much. You know, JJ got to put that ball down, get to the post, and then operate. Now, people are saying she played like AD because she doesn't play nothing like AD. First of all, she's healthy. After she takes collision, after she's banging in the post, she comes back. The other guy, he's out for the whole year or something. So, and she's much more physical than AD. So, I picked the Lynx because I knew what they could do. I knew defensively that they could shut down all 5 positions, and their bench is lethal too. They run, I think, 8, 9 deep, I believe. It's either 7, 8, or 9 deep. But they rotate. And when the bench ain't really giving them nothing, they go back to the starters. They had Hyberman in there for a little bit. They put her back on the bench. So I think they ran 7 deep this game. Maybe 8. So, I mean, it was interesting. Now, where do the New York Liberty go from here? And plus, you got to remember, Van Sloot just got back. Remember, her mother died, so she was away from the team. She came and gave him a few minutes, and then she kind of sat the rest of the game. Hamilton and Thornton, you know, Thornton was hot, but I knew that wasn't going to sustain. If Thornton's your top scorer, you're going to lose. That's just facts. You're going to lose. If you win, then you got lucky. But 9 times out of 10, if one of your role players is outscoring your stars, oh yeah, man, it's over. You might as well chalk that up to the L column. Hamilton did okay. I felt a lot of times they lapsed on defense, which they did, because New York Liberty had no business losing this game. But Minnesota is a team of attrition. They play all 4 quarters for 40 minutes. So if you're going to beat them, you have to keep them from hitting those threes in transition and in half court. You got to keep them from bouncing the ball in the lane and doing all this extra stuff. You gotta stop them from doing this. You got to stop them. You got to get physical back. You got to bang Collier. You got to bang everybody. You got to get them off of their P's and Q's. You got to get them off of their squares, we used to say it. Like, if they're in their position, you got to knock them out that position. You got to make it uncomfortable. And I felt like they did that kind of early for Collier and McBride. But the role players, man, they just stepped up to the challenge. They kept hitting 3 after 3 after 3. It was to the point, it was like, man, what's going on? New York Liberty's perimeter defense has been getting exposed. Hamilton, Thornton, and Inosuke, or I say Sabrina. Brina basically did what she could do, but she goes cold at certain times of the game. Like, she goes real cold, but then she'll heat up, and then she might go cold. Brianna was trying to win near the end, which she almost got him the dub, but she got to do that sooner. Brianna should have established herself early on in the half and then come back second half doing the same thing. But what they were doing was they were collapsing the paint. Every time she got down there, they would collapse on her. They were playing a man, but they would disguise it as a zone, and then they would just, boom, jump on her, and they would block her shot, or they would contest it, which was very intelligent. And then you had the Minnesota Lynx coach coming out saying, yeah, we didn't need a super team to win. We beat a super team and all of this crap. But are they going to win it all? No. The aces would give them problems. Do I think the Mercury could get them? The thing about the Mercury is, the Mercury is like this. If Kalia Copper doesn't, if she has a bad game or a game we like to call mid, then they're not going to win, because Diana Taurasi's not the old Diana Taurasi. Taurasi can't just drop. She can't just drop like 35 or 50 or 40 like that. Like, she's older now. But Minnesota could beat them too. Minnesota is going to be a tough matchup for others. My thing with Minnesota is when the threes aren't falling. When the threes don't fall, I've seen them this year. When they lost, the three wasn't falling. They weren't really getting a lot of production. They were getting out physical. So I've seen how to beat this team. All you have to do is, all 5 of your players got to move a lot, move the ball a lot, and you got to establish the post. If you could get them inside the post and take them out, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But if you can't establish that post and you can't limit their 3-point selections, it's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a long night. But this is what it is, right? So the Sky played the Aces tonight at home, and I believe the Fever played the Seattle Storm. But congrats to Minnesota winning the in-game tournament. Like I say, phee, are you with me? phee, are you with me? She a baller. You know, she's a baller. She gets the job done. That's why I told everybody I'm voting her into the All-Star game. But I think she's on the Olympic team, so should be on the Olympic team and everything. But McBride is a person who goes cold a lot too. And to me, if they would have limited their threes and actually take their role players out the game, like defensively, New York could have won this by 20. I mean, by 10 or 15, they could have won it. I won't say 20. I'll show respect, but Courtney Williams, like I said, she remind me of Tony Parker. Like, she knows how to switch the pace up, or, you know, she get to that elbow, man, she finna kill you every time. She finna pull up from there. That shot is is guaranteed from her. You know, she's a journey woman, but she gets the job done when you need it. When you need it, she does well. Now, the trade with the I'm gonna have to do this fast. The trade with the Knicks and the Nets, the Knicks are gonna be dangerous. If they do this how I think they're gonna do it, they're gonna be dangerous. Mikal Bridges can guard 1 through 4. Maybe 5 in this new NBA, because this new NBA is so small now. And then you got OG still. You brought him back. He just signed his deal. Like I told everybody, I'm like, the Knicks going to be dangerous. The Knicks would have beat the Pacers if nobody was hurt. If everybody didn't get hurt at the last minute, they would have won. You know. Do I think they beat Boston? I don't think they can beat Boston right now, because Boston is bringing back their squad. And like I said, they got a team full of role players. They got this Drew Holiday in the Celtics. And that's the thing. Sino said the same thing I said. Drew should have been the MVP, which he should have been. Drew was your Batman. Derek White was your Robin. And, you know, Jalen would come up big in games with his dunks, and then he had that big game 3. You know, but the whole playoffs, Jaylen Brown plays solid, but he's just not a superstar to me. He's a role player to me. He's just a great role player who plays above and beyond. Tatum, he got the skill to be the best player. Like, he has superstar talent, but he has a role player mindset. So that's why I would put him as a tier 2. I would put Brown as a tier 2. Well, I would put Tatum as tier 3. And I'll put Brown as tier 2, because I got 3 tiers. You know, so I would put Brown tier 2, and I would put Tatum tier 3. Drew Holiday to me is tier 1. He has, because before he got hurt, see, people forget, before Drew got hurt, Drew was going to be a superstar. And then he got a serious injury, so he had to dial it back. He lost his athleticism. That athleticism he had was sick. But the Knicks, the thing that they're doing is they're looking at what the Celtics have done. It's good to have numbers. Brunson can go off anytime, and then you got help on defense. You got Bridges, you got that who can help. Now, what they're going to do with Julius Randle? They're trying to trade Julius Randle. What would I trade for him? I mean, who knows? I would get a player, but who would they get? To me, there's really no other forward position that is as good as Julius Randle. I mean, you could say Tatum is a better 4. You know, I would give you that, but who's a better 4? Paolo's a better 4, but you know, Paolo's young. But outside of Paolo, outside of him, and let's see, is there any other 4s? You got Pascal Siakam. I think Pascal Siakam is overrated. I think he's a role player, big time. So, you know, to what I was saying, like, who's the best 4s? If you get rid of Julius Randle, who are you going to get? Now I'm hearing also that the Rockets want to get KD. Now, is that true? I keep trying to tell y'all, the Suns ain't going nowhere. They're keeping all their pieces. They already said that. They said they're running it back. All they got to do is get them a point guard that's on the bench and one that's a starter. That's it. And then get them a big man, a real big man, who's going to go and get the rebounds, who's going to defend, who's going to do his job. So that's how I look at it. But the Knicks won this trade. The Nets got all these picks, but dog, the draft is going to be trash. Like, listen, the men's draft was dead yesterday. Nobody talked about it. You know what everybody talking about? That game still from the WNBA. The shit y'all say was trash. They still talking about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Those two women have did something that has not been done in a long time for women. They have changed the pendulum to swing their way. And now, wait till their draft next year. Their draft is going to be even more fire. NBA draft is pew. For real, the NBA draft ain't nothing. So I would give up them picks. And plus, I'm trying to win now. Brunson in his mid or late 20s. Mikal, late 20s. All of these guys are young. So the next 3 to 5 years, I got Brunson. I got OG. I got these guys. Now, if OG get hurt, they'll be fine still. Because Mikal can do everything that OG can do, if not more. And Mikal's going to be a big-time player next year. He's going to come. He's going to do his thing because Jalen's going to do his thing. That's going to open it up for him, Hart, DiVincenzo, all of them. Now, you're going to have OG and Mikal start. Now, I will put Mikal at the 2, OG at the 3. Now, Randall would be at the 4. Until I trade him. Like, I wouldn't trade Randall right away. I would wait. Because if Randall come back, Randall is good enough to give you at least 15 to 25 points. Within that range. And then he could go off and go for 30. You know? So that's what I would do. You know, I know people gonna look and be like, Randall ain't this, Randall ain't that. Yeah, but Randall can score that ball when he can score. You know? He can score that ball. So, you know. Damn. I gotta walk over here again. Dumb crap. But yeah, that's how it is. But yeah, I'ma holler at you guys later. Shout out to Sino, Scrub, Jag Sports, Leaf, who did it this time. One True Emperor, Bear Theater, MDT Sports, Mac Mizzle Show, Strictly Left. Everybody, I'm out. Deezy.